Good morning. Welcome to another delicious edition of Texas Oatmeal, and it's been a long time since I've done that little intro. But today, we're working on the Vanderhall, and I haven't done a lot of updates to it because, of course, I haven't been making a lot of videos. You saw the Arkansas trip video where I revealed the new Red Bull wrap, which looks amazing. I don't know if anybody noticed the detail, but the American flag ghosted in on the front clip there. But I'm making this video because somebody on the internet, I don't remember the guy's name, on one of the Facebook groups posted that he got his seatbelts redone. And that's cool because the seatbelts start to, not be very strong or whatever, retracting, although mine seem to be fine. But a lot of people talk about that being a problem. Mine have always been okay. Like, I feel like they retract like they always have. I don't know. Mine's a 2018, so I don't know if they changed something throughout the years, started using different seat belts, and they got cheaper, or I don't know. But I had a guy say, oh yeah, I got my seat belts redone, and they were $225 or $250 or whatever it was to send them off and have them rebuilt and sent back to him. Okay, cool. He says they're better. Awesome. I'm awesome. Except I'm like, man, I looked at redoing my seat belts a long time ago to get a different color, and I remember them being like 40 bucks on Amazon. And they are 40 bucks on Amazon. You get them in a bunch of different colors. Vanderhall uses just a generic universal looking seatbelt, evidently from China. Matter of fact, I have the old one sitting here. Here we go. Safety standards, blah, blah, blah. China. I mean, that is some Chinese writing right there. These are definitely from China. Okay, so Chinese belt, right? Cool, whatever. Anyways, so what I did is I bought the $40 Chinese belts from Amazon just to see if they work. Because this guy said they don't fit. They won't mount up properly. Well, I looked at mine, and I looked at the Amazon link, and I looked at mine again. I'm like, man, they look the same to me. I don't believe Vanderhall did anything special, like made their own belts or whatever, or sourced some weird belt. I'm sure they found some generic belts and bought them in bulk from China, evidently. So I'm willing to take the risk. So for 40 bucks, Amazon, send them to my house, and I got these new belts. And I went ahead and did red ones because the red goes with the Red Bull wrap and everything. And red kind of goes with lots of things, right? Red seatbelts are cool. So got these in the other day and went ahead and installed one to make sure they do work. And 100%, if you're at this point in the video, actually the title of the video might be this seatbelt is 100% good to go or whatever. But anyways, I got these belts in, and not only do you get the belts, because you get 2 belts for 40 bucks, you get 2 new of the latch part, whatever this is. The receiving end of the belt. You get 2 new ones, and they are a little bit longer, at least longer than a 2018. I don't know about the 2020 and up or the Carmels, how long this cable is for this, but this is like a 1/4 inch longer than the stock ones, and I'm gonna put these in. I'm not gonna do it in this video because it's 1 bolt. It's not that big a deal. You do have to take your side skirt off to get to the nut on the back side of this bolt, so it doesn't just fall off. Hank, I'm looking at you. But you get new latches or whatever. So all right, so that being said, these 100% work. 40 bucks, you can get fresh belts in several different colors from Amazon. Okay, so to access these top bolts, you can see this one's already in, 100% bolted in. Functions, retracting. Okay, this piece admittedly is not as nice as the Vanderhall piece. This one's plastic. It slides a little easier, it's a little quieter, but it works the same. It retracts just fine. Okay, there's no problems there. Okay, I know this looks a little orange on camera. I swear you, it's red. Okay, I wouldn't put orange belts in my red, yellow, and blue Vanderhall. But to get to this top one, you don't have to remove your roll bars. Don't pay attention to this. This is some top secret stuff I'm working on. Okay, but you don't have to remove your roll bars. You just have to take the bolts out of this panel so you can lift it up and just get it up enough to get a wrench in there, because you're accessing those bolts right in there. Okay, That's all you just need to lift it up enough to get to that and use a wrench to get to that. The one on the bottom here, again, the bolt is here, right? And there's a nut on the back side that you would think would just be back here where you can get to it, but it's not. It's underneath the car. It's more of a pain. But remove the screws. There's a couple here, one down there, the one back here, right? You do not have to remove all these from the tank mount. You don't have to. You just need to move it a little bit up, and so it requires that one, this one, that one, and same on the other side. That's it. Take those screws out. You can lift this up enough to get to that one. Everything else you can do without that. You don't have to take that off. Then you have to take off this panel down here, which this is dark. Let's get some light on the subject. Okay, so you have to remove this panel, right? This one that sits right here. Okay, you have to take that off to get to the nuts that are inside there. This is where it's a problem. Okay, those nuts are obviously past all your fuel lines and hard to get to. Matter of fact, I still have the wrench on this one from where I swapped it out earlier with the long adapter on it to get that nut put on. I haven't even taken this off. It's wedged in here from where I was tightening it down earlier. Oh, and the socket stayed on the nut down there. So that's cool. I can get that off. So you can get your hands in here, okay? You can get your hand all the way down there, but you don't have a lot of room to do anything. It's hard to even get a wrench in there to turn it. So I didn't do anything like that. I did put the wrench in there, got it on there, and got it where it would just wedge itself as you undid it from the front, okay? So it would just hold it. All right, and then of course it all falls off when you get that front bolt out. It all falls down in here. You gotta reach in there and get it out. That right hand side one is harder to get to than the left hand side because there's just more stuff in the way, okay? But it's not impossible. And when I put it back on, I got my extension. I'll show you that in a second, okay? But you get some light in here. Take this rear cover off. Now remember, this rear cover comes off with 2 bolts at the top, okay? One here, one there. They're the normal 6mm Allen bolts that are there, and there's 2 on mine. They are 10mm head bolts, hex bolts, that are here that go into these that are from the bottom. You undo those 4 bolts, takes the salt panel off. You can get to that, okay? So let me show you how. Okay, so you take that off. You take the one at the seats off, okay? That one down there, you take that off. That one's super easy, okay? The easiest one to get to out of this whole thing. And then you remove the seat belts and then reinstall. So let me show you how to reinstall this one. The trick that I used to reinstall this. If you have two people, this is much easier. Because somebody can hold this back one for you. I like wedged this thing in everything to hold everything, all the parts or whatever, so I could get this out. Getting it back in then was even more complicated because I'm wedging things because I didn't have a second person to hold any of this. So if you have a second person to help you with this bottom bolt, that will make this way easier. But let me show you when I put this back in, my little tip for getting that nut and washer back on the bolt without really, I didn't struggle at all. It was actually really easy. Let me show you that. That's what I'm talking about. You got the nut and the washer taped into the socket, but not all the way in. You leave it sticking out a little bit, and then you're going to feed that all the way in there. Get it started by hand, then put your ratchet on there, have somebody hold it, tighten everything down. Okay, that saves you from having to like reach in there with your hand and try to fumble around and get it started. You just really can't. This is a much easier way. This is a 12-inch extension for your 3/8 drive ratchet. Okay, easy. Okay, and other than that, this was the other thing that made this all go much easier. I do have a regular socket set because there were times that I needed a regular socket on one of the wrenches, but having these ratcheting wrenches here, these are a lifesaver. That's what you can get into the top one without having to remove this whole panel. You get into the top with this, a lot easier. Just get it in there and take it on and off. Super simple. So these are a lifesaver. These are a lifesaver. If you don't have these little set of ratcheting wrenches like this, get some. You can find a set for like 40-50 bucks, a whole set at any store, Walmart, AutoZone, Home Depot, whatever. These sets are great. They come in handy for a lot of things like this, where they're little tight things you got to get to. So you need one of those to make this a little easier. You might be able to get a socket in there, but I doubt it. Obviously, you can use your regular opening wrench, but then you gotta turn it, lift, turn it. Nightmare. No, get these. It's worth it. And for the amount of money you save by not having your seatbelt sent out and however long that takes and come back to you for 225, 250 bucks, whatever it was, you can buy the seatbelt and your new tools and get it installed all for way cheaper than sending your belts off. If you don't like the Chinese set of belts and you want to do something a little bit better, Jegs, Jegs.com sells USA made seat belts that are exactly like this. Now, I didn't buy any. I don't know if you have to flip the belt or the clip around or whatever. But if you do, cool. It's gonna be the same thing. But they're $80, $75 each belt. Okay, so you need two, so 150 bucks. But still saving quite a bit of money over sending your belts off and doing all that stuff. But they only come in black, I think. But they're USA made. They're probably a little bit better quality than this. I haven't run these. They seem fine. They latch in. They're going to be fine. Okay, they have to meet all the same safety standards that any of these other belts do. But are they as good? Maybe not. Are they as good as the Vanderhall ones? Pretty close. Again, that little top piece, it's not quite as nice. Okay, maybe that part's not as nice, but they're 40 bucks for two belts. I mean, what do you expect, really? I just like that you can change them to red. There was nothing wrong with my other belts. They will go with this Vanderhall when it sells one day down the road, so if somebody wants it with the original belts, they've got them. I don't know that they'll ever take the time to reinstall them, because these seem to be fine. So anyways, take that for what it is. They definitely work, 100% fit. There was no issues fitting them back into the vehicle. That's it. And I mean, now I've got red belts for 40 bucks, so pretty cool. Anyways, hope this helps. Hope it gives you some insight on how this works. And if you've been on the fence about replacing your belts, now you've got some options. I'll leave the links to the Amazon ones, which those Amazon links after a certain amount of time are useless, but I'll leave them down below when I post this so you can at least see the current ones that I've got. And the Jegs belts, I'll leave that link to theirs as well if you want to get some USA made ones that are probably a little better than these, but they're seat belts, people. They're universal. They're not that big a deal. If it gives you some peace of mind because they're USA made, cool. I'm gonna run these Chinese ones. So, but yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.
You must be blinded by the lights. We came to shine here. Watch it look daytime in the night. We bring the vibes here. We full of life, you keep the change, keep the change.